of the minority tribes felt that they were marginalized, and so there was need to bring them into affairs of government and then to include them in appointments and other things that pertain to the development and overall progress of their region, of the country. Now, when the Willings Commission released its report, it was clear that some of the minorities were not given a very clear place of representation in all regions, in both the eastern, the western, and the northern region. And so those recommendations were made. So one of the recommendations which Tafawa Balewa fulfilled was the creation of the Midwestern region. The Midwestern region was created out of the recommendation of the Willings Commission. Other states in future created by the military were also in consideration of the Willings Commission. But what happened later on, which is the Waterloo today, is because of the injustices of those who are running the country. In the country today, as it has been in the last nearly 30 years, the ruling elites have not taken a clear picture of what was going to happen in future. So all the wealth of the country that was meant to develop the citizens were squandered by a very few vested interest elites who were opportune to be the rulers. Those monies that were budgeted and those monies meant for development were cornered. And so people began to see that if my own is the president, or if my own is the governor, or if my own means from my tribe, or from my religion, or from my village. If my own is the senator, if my own is the member of the reps, if my own is a military administrator, it means that in the Republic of Nigeria, we, my people, are favored. The reason is because the elites were not maximizing the resources of the country for the overall use of the people. And so grievances begin to set in. Then the elites were also not managing issues that would have been long-term issues like education, long-term issues like health, long-term issues like agriculture were abandoned, and the monies budgeted for these things were also siphoned. In terms of education, you can see, for example, that in Nigeria, even today, despite the huge budget from 1960 to date, education sector is still backward. And in most states in Nigeria, our children still sit on floor to learn their lessons when it should not be so. Look at the health sector, for example. When Ebola came up and later coronavirus, it was a shock to most Nigerians, including the health minister, who expressed his disgust that he didn't know that the precarious nature of the hospitals and the health sector in Nigeria was this worse. Now, after Ebola and Corona, have you seen the elites taking any positive step, for example, to build hospitals that will cater for future breakout of pandemics that we do not even know? Even the Corona issue, have the elites now built any standard hospital anywhere across the country that will take care of the issue? They have not. Take the headers farmers clash. In the past, all these cattle routes were even gazetted and laws were made for them. When urbanization set in, what did the elites do in order to cater and take care of issues that will take care of the headers, the farmers, and villages and towns that were springing up along cattle routes? They didn't do anything. They were just sleeping. They were interested only in siphoning the resources of the country for their own vested interest. It didn't start today. So the level of injustices caused by the elite and their aggrandizement to take out the wealth meant for the development of the country. And then recently, they will only appoint their own people into government. People who are not their own. If you come from a tribe or from a religion and you apply for a position, and the person who is occupying that position does not belong to your tribe or your religion, now our youth have even given up. They are no longer applying unless they see that somebody from their tribe or their religion is the one occupying this position. All these things brought in antagonism against the people. The antagonism that set in is because of the injustices. Unfortunately, the political ruling elite continued to set the people against themselves by the policies of government. Take, for example, during Babangida's time, Babangida will appoint a minister. If the Jama'atul Nasrul Islam criticize the minister, he will drop the minister and then appoint another person. If the Christian Association of Nigeria complains, then he will drop that minister and appoint another. If Northerners complain, he will drop them. If Southern, so they set the people against themselves. Now, take for example the Jama'atul Nasrul Islam, which is just supposed to be an umbrella organization of the Muslims. It now takes positions even on political issues. The same thing with the Christian Association of Nigeria, which is supposed to be the umbrella of all Christians in Nigeria, now even takes position that is political. This is because the antagonism that set in and the injustices and the level of perversion of public wealth for vested interest, and then employment and appointments into government, into institutions like the universities and other institutions, brought in a lot of anger, a lot of anguish, a lot of hatred, a lot of frustration, such that people no longer see themselves as one. People see themselves either as Muslims, or they see themselves as Christians, or they see themselves as Northerners, or they see themselves as Southerners, or some see themselves even as Middle Belters. They no longer want to be called Northerners. All this antagonism set in because of the role that the elites have played. The ordinary people.
The irony,
yes,
that is, that we're plagued with, is about the human capacity that Nigeria parades, and we're talking about the endowments, natural endowments that it has as a nation, and yet all of these have been, abused, so to say, that today, people are suffering, people live, below poverty, the line. And so Nigeria suffers what the elites have not done or have not taken care of. Now, we are at this crucial moment where a lot of things have to be fixed. And fixing it, again, will be about people. Again, the elite would come in here. We've had elections, we've had representatives of the people, and all of these have not worked, for Nigeria. So where are we here?
Well, you see, Nigeria is, I think to me, I have always said it, that Nigeria is the most endowed country in the world. In the sense that there's no country in the world today where its own citizens, indigenous to it, are so resilient and very hardworking as Nigerians. And it didn't start today. Way back in the 18th century, a Nigerian, Muhammad ibn Muhammad al-Kashinawi, made a mark at Al-Azhar University. In world mathematics history, you can never mention mathematics without mentioning Muhammad al-Kashinawi, who was a native of Katsina at that time. Then look at recent history of Nigeria. At the Vatican, just recently, as recent as 1974, when Cardinal Ekandem was appointed to the Vatican. In the whole world, no country had two cardinals. But when Ekandem from Nigeria was appointed, another archbishop was elevated to the position of a cardinal. At a point in 1977, only Nigeria as a country had two cardinals in the Vatican. On the Islamic side, a Nigerian has led prayers in the holy mosque in Kaaba for many years in the 1960s, up to the time he died. If you look at the literature in education, take the likes of Professor Chinua Achebe. Professor Chinua Achebe, before he died, he was always the darling of not only American but European scholars. He never traveled alone. In a talk that he will discuss for 30 minutes, you will see people traveling from Europe to America only to attend. People traveling from Asia. Today in America and Europe, most of the technology that are moved, which we marvel, are moved by Nigerians. Nigeria is a great country. Even in our country today, most of the people that are running daily, take our mechanics, take those hawkers, take those women that are hawking banana. There is no country that has resilient and hardworking people as Nigerians. Unfortunately, those who are ruling the country do not take stock of all these issues. And we, the masses, do not take care when electing leaders. Masses need to know that when you elect a fool for 4 years, he will continue to be foolish on the saddle of government until you drop him or his tenure ends. If you elect an nincompoop, he will continue to behave like a nincompoop until after 4 or 8 years when his tenure ends or you drop him. If you vote any person with a characteristics that is not progressive, that is how he will ruin your life for the years that you will elect him. But the masses have not realized that, and today most of those occupying government offices are not different from people who have ruined our lives. And let me tell you one shocking thing. In 2023, if we are alive, Nigerians will still return nearly half of those that are ruining our lives today. You can see what is happening, but the masses have not realized, because the masses only think of money when they are voting, or the importance of political party, or where a candidate comes from, or which religion a candidate professes, or which tribe a candidate speaks or language. These are the considerations of the masses, and that is why the masses are also complicit in bad governance. Unless the masses put themselves away from what is happening in terms of what is ruining our lives, our future, our country, and take a decisive stance for ourselves. Such stance must be progressive. Such stance must be for the future of our children. Such stance must be a stance that is completely devoid of tribal, ethnic, linguistic, sectional, religious, and regional coloration.
More than any other time, Barrister,
position,
the issue of restructuring has come to the fore, and the
yes.
restructuring here would either go that economic restructuring, political restructuring, cultural restructuring, and all that restructuring can take. What's your take on why we must restructure this country? And again, the Constitution and everything comes in here. Is there urgent need that we must restructure this country?
The issue may not be entirely restructuring the country. Good amendment of some sections of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and religiously observing the provisions of the Constitution and other laws, and then doing the right thing in office after having been sworn to do the right thing will solve the problems of Nigeria without restructuring. Take our federalism, for example. Nigeria professes to be a federal state, but in the actions of the leaders, do they observe the Constitution in running Nigeria as a federal state? They do not. Is that the problem of the law or of the people governing? It is the problem of the people. Now take another area. For example, the budgets which I mentioned that are meant for development. If a governor budgets the amount for his state, and more than half of the amount is siphoned in private pockets, is it the problem of the law or of the people? It is the problem of the people. The House of Assembly, because it is inept, cannot impeach the governor, because all of them are the governor's children or governor's godsons. So there's no way they can take a step towards impeaching him. Then take another example, sir. One of the issues that deals with Nigeria in terms of governance is the ability of Nigerians, even after having been sworn in to take positions in government, they do not fear God to implement laws according to the Constitution. In the country today, if you list the governors that have disobeyed court orders, which is issued by the judicial arm of government, which is one of the three arms of government, it will shock you that almost all the governors do not abide by court orders. If you take another stock, the federal government itself, which is supposed to supervise and implement and ensure that the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is religiously observed, is in breach of most of the sections of the Constitution. Now, you can imagine this. If all the local government chairmen implement what they budgeted for the people and spend it religiously for the interest of their people, building markets, building culverts, building markets, building cemeteries, observing licenses at the local government level, and refusing to siphon money meant for the local government. Imagine the 774 local government chairmen doing the right thing. Then imagine all those state governors that are 36 doing the right thing, ensuring that money budgeted for so and so are implemented according to it, and ensure that their commissioners do not steal, and ensure that the House of Assembly is only entitled to what is provided in the statute. And then also imagine, sir, that the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria will ensure compliance with the Constitution and other laws, and then ensure that money budgeted for everything is done accordingly, and ensure that the Federal Character Commission employs people such that every part of the country will have a sense of belonging, and then the ministers ensuring that those monies are spent, and the National Assembly does not get undue advantage over other citizens. Do you think, sir, honestly, that anybody will agitate for restructuring? We will not. It is because of the injustices in the system. Most of Nigerian state governors, especially those who have left office, own refineries in other countries. They own castles around Europe. They own plazas in Dubai and other Asian capitals. When you go to America, they own some of the big houses in New York and in other cities. Now Nigerian senators and ministers even build their houses in the Balkans. Where do they get the money to do this? Look at our universities. At the time that our universities were closed, most of the ruling elite in Nigeria had already taken their children to universities outside the country or to private universities which were still operating. What shocked me, sir, was during Corona, when most of our traditional rulers and our ministers and our governors were seen visiting their children in the UK and other European and American capitals to help them be happy about their graduation, when the money they are spending, even for these trips, are money meant to develop education in Nigeria. What shocked me most among this was when I saw the executive secretary of the Nigerian University Commission even going to England to commiserate with his son who was graduating when our universities were closed. Why should people not be frustrated? And why should people not be angry? Why should anguish not be our own portion when our leaders do not look at our affairs? Instead, they take our money and spend it for their own persons and things that are irrelevant. That is why the call for restructuring is currently going on. But if there will be justice and leaders will do the right thing, and then they will ensure that the laws are followed, and then they will do everything according to how they have sworn, whether as Christians or Muslims or even as pagans. When they observe the etiquette and precepts of good governance, you will see that there will be no need for restructuring. You see, for Nigeria to be divided, all of us are going to be losers. Countries in Europe today and even in Asia are yearning and craving to have unions that involve a lot of countries. Take the issue of Germany. Federal Republic of Germany, you remember, broke away into Eastern and even Western Germany. Germany in the East was practicing socialism. In the West, they were practicing capitalism. Now, the need to reunite has come, and the Berlin Wall was demolished. Today, one of the happiest people in Europe and even in the world are the people of Germany. Breaking away is a great loss for Nigeria, because for you to exist in a republic of Middle Belt, when you are traveling from Makodi to Kaduna, that you must pass through custom and immigration posts before you come to the Federal Republic of Arewa, is unthinkable. That when you leave Lagos and you reach Ofa, you now have to present your passport as somebody from Oduduwa Republic to citizens of Arewa Republic before you are allowed to go. Then what will be the implication for people who have established themselves in the various parts of the country? There will be upheavals and violence, and it will take years to quench the wars that will come up. So the earlier we think and realize, the better for us. Leaders should try and do the right thing. If they refuse to do the right thing, let the masses elect people that are more credible, people with integrity, people who they believe, although the future is not known, that may be able to help them Because now, with what is happening today, we cannot even guarantee the kind of people who will elect. In 2015, look at the level of propaganda and campaign which the APC did. We believe that the Uhuru was here. We believe that everything will be good. We thought that our country will be like Tanzania when Mwalimu Julius Nyerere was ruling them. But between 1915 and today, my own view is that Nigeria is more ruined than it was before 2015. So in future, whom do we even elect and trust based on what these people have done to us? That is why the masses must shun all divisions and look out for credible persons whom they believe can be able to help them. People who they believe they know their antecedents and who can be able to take stock of issues. If there is justice in the country and wealth is evenly distributed and people are not siphoning wealth and people are given equal opportunities to live and to transact businesses anywhere in the country, I believe that the call for restructuring may even die down. But the need to do it now is from the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But the National Assembly today cannot be able to take the bold steps to amend those sections that are against the wishes of the people or majority of the people of Nigeria. Because the National Assembly itself believes that the present constitution and the framework on which our laws work favors them. Because if you look at it, long ago, the machinery of government in Nigeria had been given or pushed in a direction just to conserve the privileges of the few people who are ruling the country, which in my view today is a family compact set of rulers. We need to organize ourselves and overthrow these people democratically and ensure that the next election is one that will cater for the majority and overwhelming aspirations of Nigerians.
Okay, Barrister Yakubu, I would have to go for a break. I'll just be with you at the next turn of the program. Thank you for your thoughts here, but please don't go away. Yes, we'll still need some of your few minutes for us. We're talking about Nigeria today, and I went back on the memory lane to bring to you what the slogan was then in the 60s, up 60s to 70 when we were at war. But again, the slogan then on radio, television, and all over was that to keep Nigeria is a task that must be done, and more than any other time, this task has to be done. We'll come back after this commercial break.
We'll be right back after this quick commercial break.
We're back with you on the program Perspectives this morning, and we're looking at Nigeria today. And just went down memory lane when Nigeria was, at war with each other. I'm talking about the 67-70 war. And the slogan that we had then was to keep Nigeria one is a task that must be done. To keep Nigeria one is a task that must be done. And then the military head of state at that time, General Yakubu Gowon was coined for go on with one Nigeria. And thank God we got out of it and back with Nigeria. But again, where we are with Nigeria today, serious concerns about not allowing the sheep, to hit the rocks. And so people are putting their thoughts on what we must do to get Nigeria going and to keep Nigeria one. My guest this morning by phone, Barrister Yakubu El-Zubai, sharing thoughts from me with his perspectives on to keep Nigeria one, a task that must be done. Barrister, another concern here is on the youth population of Nigeria. Now, we talked about education and what United States nations had said that countries should budget for in terms of policies on education. Nigeria had fallen short of it. And today, because our children go to school, the youths go to school, they come back with their certificates, there are no jobs. And of course, the jobs that are available are meant for some sacred few. And so anger is there with the young ones on how the country is being run. And again, our young ones today, there is an easy way out for them that education might not just be anything of interest to them. There is the cyber cafe thing, that with the fraud that is going on, the Yahoo boys have taken over. School has no value. Our values have been lost because, government at one point or the other had failed them. Your concerns about this strong engine room of a nation, the young ones, the youth, and how they've been, put aside, and kept aside with unemployment at its peak now. So these young ones and how we must handle them now.
Unfortunately, sir, the leaders will not change unless we, the masses, unite and take a decisive stance for ourselves. Our youths across the country, irrespective of their tribes, irrespective of their religion, irrespective of where they come from, are unemployed. And for them, they will never witness any employment in their lives unless things change, because their parents are obscure farmers or laborers who are not known to those people in authority. What baffled me, sir, was way back in 1991, when we were in the university, we had a son of somebody who was in our class. We were reading law, and the promise with him was that he already had a position secured for him, that when we finish our LLB and when we go to law school and he is called to the bar, that position is still waiting for him to occupy. We thought it was not true, sir. We thought it was a lie, because we were just in 200 level and we were looking to about 4 years ahead, and you leave a seat for somebody in an office that he must graduate before he comes and occupy the office. Shockingly, sir, do you know what happened? When we graduated, alas, he went to his office, an office that was left for him in 1991 until in 1998 when he was called to the bar. This is the attitude of the Nigerian elites. And then another thing that happened to me, which is personal, is that there's somebody in my class with whom we graduated the same year. This man has never come to the courtroom since we were called to the bar. He never attended even a magistrate court, not to talk of high court or court of appeal. He never practiced law in any way. In fact, when we finished, he was working in the bank. On the day that we statutorily reached 10 years, because that is what the Constitution says, a lawyer called to the bar for 10 years can be appointed as a high court judge. Do you know what happens, sir? And which still makes me laughing and angry at the same time. On the day of our 10th year anniversary at the bar, this man was appointed as a high court judge. He had never practiced law. So if not that we have a mind that is not malfeasant and a mind that is not so jealous, what do you think we will be looking at in terms of these two people that I have cited example for you? And every youth across board has an example like this. It is a sad specter that our elites are using our common resources to favor themselves. And sometimes they favor themselves in a manner that is stupid. Because the second example I give you, the National Judicial Commission will not appoint you as a high court judge unless you present 10 number of cases that you participate from the beginning to the judgment. Now this guy that has worked in the bank for 10 years, where did he get the 10 cases that he presented to be married to be appointed as a high court judge? But as I talk to you today, he is in hierarchy of one of the judges in the country. And he will eventually, I believe, go to the Supreme Court. So what do you expect in future? Is he not only also grooming his son to be a judge? Will he appoint somebody on merit? He will not. And that is the bane of Nigerian youths. Nigerian youths are very hardworking. Nigerian youths are doing everything possible to survive outside employment. Nigerian youths are even doing their best to see that while they work and trek, looking for jobs to offices, they manage to even smile. But the irony is that those things that they apply and those offices they are seeking for are offices that are vacant, but the children of the elites are being awaited to graduate before they are appointed. In the judiciary of most states, sir, there are vacancies across board. Even in the Supreme Court of Nigeria, there are more than 10 vacancies. In the Court of Appeal, we even need to create other divisions because of the backlog of cases. If you come to the High Court, there are many judges that merit to be appointed, but they will not appoint them because they are not their children. They are waiting for their children to graduate before they appoint them into these offices. It is a sad sector. The youth should not give up. The youth should not give up because nobody knows tomorrow. Only God knows tomorrow. And God may miraculously change everything about Nigeria if the leaders fail. Secondly, we the people need to pray and work hard so that at election time, we should not elect people that are wicked. We should not elect people that are stupid. We should not elect people that do not have concern for our welfare. We should not elect people that will just use their office to favor themselves. We should not use our votes to elect people that will come and steal the money meant for budget. Unless we, the masses, take these steps as steps for hard work after prayer, our conditions may not improve.
Okay.
And so the youth should not use this problem to engage in things that are inimical to their lives, because their future is bright, whether in government or outside government. They need to think within and take a decisive position that they must survive, and they must survive legitimately. If they seek to survive legitimately, they will see that there is no need for them to become involved in cyber crime. They will see that there is no need for them to become bandits. They will see that there is no need for them to become members of Boko Haram. They will see that there is no need for them to engage in kidnapping gangs. So all these things are inimical to their future, because all these people that I have mentioned, unless they return, sir, they have only opened for themselves the gates of hell. And we will not like our youths to be like that. The youth should look at the sun. When they look at the sun, they will not see the shadows. They should struggle. They must survive, but they must survive legitimately, whether in or outside government. Things will change if we take our hands in voting the right person. The masses should shun everything that is divisive and then do the right thing, looking only at the future and progress of Nigeria and of their children and grandchildren. If we take this position for ourselves, we may be able to prosper and we may be able to get the change that we desire.
Okay, Barrister, I'll just squeeze in one or two calls for you to take, profile, solutions there, and numbers to call quickly to be on this, conversation is 081 40,000 989, 081 40,000 989, or 070 87 800 989, 070 87 800 989. We'll take your calls now. Good morning. Yes, quickly to the point.
Good morning to the guest. You're also Engineer Manuel.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the guest has spoken very well. But me, what I want to ask, this country called Nigeria, don't you think we need to come to round table and see if we need to be together or everybody should go his part way?
All right.
But my prayer is that we be together.
Okay.
I'm not saying that we should go part the rest. Don't you think, as an husband and wife, at a certain time, they will sit down. After all understanding of that, they will need to continue or everybody should go his way.
Okay,
So everybody
I got you on that, Engineer Emmanuel. We'll take another call quickly to the point too. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to the boss.
Good morning. Your name?
My name is Karl Marx on the line.
Karl Marx.
You guys have spoken very well. I think for me, the term of democracy 1930 date was supposed to be a blessing to us as youth. I want to say it has become a cost because our leaders keep bringing policies that are geared towards dividing us with religious and ethnic inclination. And then, fortunately for us, just like the way what our guest said, we are so gullible, we are just moved by emotions. I remember the statement of Ahmad Bello when the Queen visited Kaduna. I heard he said, many of us are Muslims, a lot of us are traditionalists, and a lot of us are Christians. This is a statement that is built under the cardinal of principle of equity and justice. Today, the story is not the same. I'm very, very unfortunate the youth refuse to see it that way. Very much so.
Okay, yes, Karl Marx. One more, and then we get back to our guest. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes.
What I wanted to is that, sir, from what you said, thank God we have done justice to what we are listening as listeners. But what I want to add, why is that almost all the state houses assembled, they are redundant. They are only there to approve budget. Is it necessary for us? Is there any need for us to build such a body? Thank you.
Okay, I struggled to get that, but again, I'll take this call to just add to it. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, quickly.
Yes, this is Williams.
Williams, all right?
Yes, from Narai.
Okay.
Yes. I just want to chip in an advice. I think it's high time for our religious leader, our traditional leaders to start, and our parents. All this is starting from home. Let them start inculcating to their children, and even in the church and the mosques. Let's start sensitization so that we'll start preaching the unity of Nigeria in our school, in our homes, in our churches, in our mosques, so that we will enlighten people the need for us to choose leaders that will bring this nation out of the situation we have to find ourselves today. Thank you very much.
Okay, Williams, thank you. I'll come back to you, Barrister. You had the callers there. Engineer Emmanuel was talking about, the need to dialogue on why we must stay together as one or go our separate ways, that we have to come to the table to discuss that. Karl Marx was worried that we are a gullible people, and so we take anything hook, line, and sinker. For Gabriel, too, he was concerned about why the youths have to take this all. Williams talking about radicalization, in terms of the church, the mosque, the parents to all come in and talk about history of Nigeria and do something about values for Nigerians and Nigerians. Your take on all of this?
Discussing constantly and continuously is very, very necessary, because just take example of someone who has his wife. If you misunderstand each other and you refuse or she refuses to talk to you and you allow the crisis to fester, there could be a divorce after a long altercation. But if a husband is compassionate enough to talk to his wife from time to time, and even when he favors her, he shows gratitude also for what she is doing to him, and the wife also talks to her husband from time to time, and when her husband favors her, she shows her gratitude for what he has done, and then they discuss about the school fees of their children. They discuss about the new house they want to build. They discuss about their aged parents and how they will help them. A healthy home will develop like that. So also a country. A country where leaders shun majority of their people and are not ready for discussion. They are only tyrannical and dictatorial, and they only want their views to be sunk through the throat of the masses. There can never be peace. There can never be justice. And such a society can never witness the harmony that is desired. So discussing from time to time and raising concerns about how the country is managed, about how our schools are being managed, about how hospitals is being built, about how electricity is being provided, roads, and how health care and other things about pensioners are being taken care of are very, very important. In this, governors should be heard addressing their people about this concern. In this, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria should from time to time address the people. But is that what they are doing, sir? They are not doing this. And that is why the tension is high. The tension is high because the people are allowed to thrive only on rumors. And leaders are not ready to chip in and bring the right information to the people. And so rumors and rumor mill became the only thing that we can believe. And with time, these things build violence and distrust. And that is where Nigeria is today. So restructuring is important. Discussion is also important. All ourselves from time to time at fora, even government forum, so that we can be discussing these issues. It is very, very important. And now about radicalization in churches and mosques. The mosques and the churches are yes. Even our traditional leaders are divine because they uphold honesty, they uphold the oneness of God, and they uphold the sanctity of human life. But today, sir, is it not Muslims that are killing people across the state in the name of banditry? Is it not Christians that are killing people across the country in the name of ethnicity and other primordial issues? What you can even exempt are those traditional rulers, are those traditional religionists from which Islam and Christianity sprang. They are not involved in the violence that is going on in our country. But Islam and Christianity make good provisions that people can live in harmony. That is why the personages for Christianity and the personages for Islam are people that are good and people we can be able to emulate. Even in recent history, sir, about the Catholic theological liberation theology. Liberation theology is meant to enthrone the sanctity of human life. Those in the forefront, Rafael de Camara and Camilo Torres, will remain blessed even in their graves, because in their life, they live a life that every human being should emulate to uplift humanity and ensure that there is justice in the society. Ditto, if you call some personages in Islam. So Muslims and Christians, and especially Muslim scholars and Christian scholars, those pastors and those imams that are dividing the people, let them go back to their compass and set the compass right and take the position of those people that were preaching justice and the oneness of God and the divineness and salvation when we die. Unless our leaders in the church and our leaders in the mosques go back to the drawing board and take those positions, they will continue to divide us along those lines. Because those religious people on the pulpit and those in the masjid are those people who are even contributing to some of our problems. We should be able to defend their messages and reject those that are rejectable and accept those that are in accordance with the divinity of God. Now, Karl Marx, and I like the name because Karl Marx is our leader. Karl Marx is somebody that inspired the basis for revolution of the masses and justice to all people. I believe that I would like to meet him because it will recollect and recall those times when we were always quoting and clamoring for a Karl Marx of our time. He raised concerns, and I think I believe him too, because all the speakers raised concerns that are very, very credible and necessary for our country today. We hope that the leaders will hear this. But most importantly, we the masses must take a stance in 2023 and do the right thing. For our children and the youth, listen to your parents. Do the right thing. Do not take the path of perversion. Do not believe that quick wealth is the answer. Just take your time, struggle, do the right thing. Listen to your parents. Follow their advice and respect them. Once we do that, we can be able to get it right. No parent will advise his child if he is truly a parent. I think these are the precepts that we need to build in our society, both at the home front and at the governmental level.
Barrister Yakubu Eruzbai, I cannot thank you enough, but thank you for coming on the program this morning.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
I can now go to court, sir.
Yes, please. And that was just be about the size of it on the program Perspectives. This morning we're talking about Nigeria, as the state of the nation, and of course going back to pick from one of the slogans that we had about keeping Nigeria. That slogan then was in the 60s then, that to keep Nigeria one is a task that must be done, and then that we should go on with Nigeria. That's General Yakubu Gowon there. The Gowon there was all about that. And so at this critical point or stage of where we are with Nigeria, it is, a big challenge to all of us to have our hands on deck to keep this country as one. Most people have said it, united we stand, divided we fall. All up to us there this morning. Morpheus Rhymes, thank you for connecting us with the people this morning. Wisdom, thank you for putting us in the pictures. We'll come back with Perspective tomorrow. Good morning.